Today's video is sponsored by Skillshare. This is the most used roller break in drum and bass history. Originally sampled from the classic jungle track Dark Soldier by Renegade, who I believe is Ray Keith, the track came out on Dread Recordings in 1996. The Dark Soldier break has been used on countless huge records over the years. Most recently, Boo has used it. As well, a few years back, Fresh used it on his track Heavyweight. And from what I can hear, it is an edit of the Sandman break layered with some additional hits. Did you know this? Dark Soldier was actually engineered by Lemon D. I didn't know until I looked into Discogs, but it kind of makes sense now. You can hear the combo of the Dread and Lemon D influences, especially with all those jazz elements in the track. So I'm going to be creating a track using the Dark Soldier break, showing you how I would construct a track from scratch. By the way, my name is Stranger. If you're looking to improve your music production, especially with dance music and drum and bass, then this channel is for you. Like this video and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like these. It helps my channel out because it gets it out to more people like yourself. By the way, if you want to download the Dark Soldier break along with some of the other samples I'm using today, you can find it down in the link below, all for free. Alright, without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so here is the Dark Soldier break. Once again, shouts out to Ray Keith and Dread Recordings, legendary to the drum and bass scene. And I've loaded it in Recycle. Once again, if you follow my videos, I like using Recycle to cut up my breaks. It's a little more old school, but I'll show you why I like using Recycle. So I have all the transients marked already ahead of time. When you enable this little wave icon, you get a bunch of additional features. Now, if I were to play this break at a slower tempo, let's say a hot 90 beats per minute or 85 or whatever. Notice how it sounds kind of choppy. And the reason why it's sounding choppy is one, because it's playing at a slower tempo. Now there's empty space in between each slice, right? Try to visualize it. So what Recycle can do is it can add a tail at the end of each slice, right? So it's not actually stretching it. The icon or the parameter says it's stretching it, but it's not technically stretching it. It's taking data from the slice and it's creating an artificial tail. So watch what happens as I increase the stretch parameter here. Do you notice now there's kind of this tail that fades out at the end of each slice? So without the stretch. And with the stretch. So I like this method because I prefer this sound over what Ableton does, where it actually uses an algorithm and it kind of stretches the slice. It's just a different sound. I find the Ableton stretching, it makes it sound a little more, for lack of better terms, it sounds more granular or like digital, right? Nothing wrong with that. It's just I prefer this kind of sound because it sounds more natural. And then once you have your slice ready or your break ready, just save it as an RX2 file and then you can bring it into Ableton. For example, I'll just take a break here. You can just slice to new MIDI track. Now I've sliced it already. I'm using my Stranger slicing preset. If you want to grab the Stranger slicing presets, you can find it in the link below. But when you use my slicing presets, and it's for free by the way, you get a bunch of parameters that I've created for you to manipulate the break. So I have the break here. So you can pitch it up. You can make it tighter. There's an echo. I like using the drive, especially when you pitch it up. And then add some drive to it. I just find it makes it sound, I don't know, tougher. Okay, so that's the Dark Soldier break. Now, there's a number of different ways, as I mentioned, to cut it. Another way is you can use Simpler and just pull in the waveform into Ableton Simpler and then choose Slice on the bottom left of the sampler. And with this method, you can actually slice within Simpler. So you can like go here and like add a transient marker, right? Just by double clicking, and there's one missing here, so double click. So now it adds a transient on each slice. And this is a simple way to just put it into Ableton, right? So this method is Ableton's method. The benefit of this is now you can use Ableton's stretching algorithm. Again, if you want that kind of granular sound, just hit warp, right? And then you can pitch it up. You see how it sounds more granular as opposed to my method where you pitch it up? It just sounds a little more natural. It's up to your taste, whatever you want your break to sound like. You could also use the different algorithms here to pitch it. So now you got a kind of time stretchy sound using this texture method. That with tones you can change the grain size. Yeah, so I mean, you should learn all the methods because each method gives you different results, right? Of course, you can use it as audio if you want, right? With audio, I just find it's a little more limited in terms of when you want to like pitch it up or whatever. But you could also just add transient markers and then right-click Slice as a MIDI track, and that'll put it into a drum rack. So this is a different way. Instead of Simpler drum rack, each slice is put onto each pad here, and then you could do it that way. That's how that's the other way to do it, right? Similarly, you can now have all the warping and time stretching features if you do it this way. Okay, so that is the Ray Keith break. I'm just going to use my version here. I'll show you a couple different patterns. So you can take this pattern, right? So one of the popular roller patterns is just moving this slice at the end here. You can take out these two slices here and then just take the kick here. Pretty simple stuff. You could also do this, right? Let's do another one. Maybe make this 2 bars. I like maybe like da 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 da, right? So that's like that. Take this last slice out. That's a cool one. I use that a lot. You could also do this one, which is more like hip hop. So you can move all this here and have a double kick. So it's boom boom ka 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 ka. Another one you can do is, I think it's this one. Just add a kick here. Now you have that boom, ka boom, ka. You can also take this part out, take this section. Tons of rhythms you can do with the Dark Soldier break. I'm just going to use the classic pattern here. Today's video is sponsored by Skillshare. If you're a beginner and you want to learn the basics of Ableton and music production, then I recommend you to check out my Ableton Essential Exercises on Skillshare. I have a series of classes where you'll learn the basics of drum programming, chopping up breaks, writing melodies, and bass lines. I just came out with a new class called The Basics of Serum. So for anyone that wants to get into sound design and synthesis, I recommend you to start here. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for anyone that loves learning and wants to explore creativity and pick up new skills. It's a great way to invest in yourself in your personal growth. Have a specific skill you want to learn? Well, Skillshare is the perfect place to start. From graphic design, video editing, marketing, social media, and even music theory, you'll be sure to find a class that matches your personal goals. One class that really helped me was Learn Piano in 30 Days by Mark Piano to Hide. In this class, I learned the basics of playing keys and some music theory, and the way Mark teaches makes it very easy for anyone to pick it up. Learning basic piano skills has really helped me as a music producer, and I encourage you to try it out. The benefit to Skillshare is that there are no ads, and the first 1,000 people that use my link in the description will receive 1 month free trial of their premium membership. So check it out, and I'll see you at my class on Skillshare. All right, next we're gonna add some bass to this pattern, and I'm using the 808 preset from the Gnarly Serum Pack. It's the 808 Attack 02 Straight. By the way, you may notice that there's this yellow rectangle over the session view. It's just that I have a new MIDI controller. I have this Launch Key MIDI by Novation, and it allows you to perform live with Ableton. So that's why there's that yellow rectangle. It's just showing which sessions I can launch with the controller. So just ignore that while we're working. But let's put a bass line in. Apologize for my lack of rhythm. Here's a pattern we're writing in, I think, D minor, and let's just quantize that. Okay, so here's our pattern. I like to make it all the same velocity, although there's no velocity setting in this preset. I just like things nice and clean, so I just like to select all, hit, or just type 100 and enter. Okay, so the pattern here is I always like to leave a quarter note space before the bass comes in. I just like that. It's like a delayed bass, right? It just gives the bass line a little more rhythm as opposed to just playing it on the one, right? And then you bring it back like this. I just find it's a little more groovy, and it gives you an opportunity to add maybe a different bass sound on the kick. Like on this beat here, you could put like a wub, like wub, right? Wub, wub, right? So, and I also like having some space here. This gives us an opportunity to fill it in with another bass sound. All right, so let's fill in this pattern with another bass sound in this space here to fill it out. So I have a classic respace here. I pulled this straight from my Jungle kit, which has a couple parameters. You can make it distorted. You can also add some noise to it. We'll just keep it like this. So when you have two different bass instruments and you want to do a call and response, here's a cool trick so you can visually identify where to write the notes, right? So select the 808 pattern that we had before, right? So just highlight it, right? The clip, and hold shift. Well, make a pattern here. So go to the Reese instrument, double click, make a clip here. Now the 808 is 4 bars, so you got to make this clip 4 bars as well. So just go into the length, type in 4. So now it's 4 as well. And we'll just hit play, so it's launched. So when you click on this one, I'll just type 808 so it's easy for you to identify what's happening here. So 808 here, hold shift and then click on the Reese. Okay, so now both clips are selected. So now the one that's in focus right now is the Reese. So you can write the Reese notes here, right? So if you type, see, it's playing the Reese. It's showing the notes for the 808 here, but the Reese is playing. So now you know where to fill it in, right? So I can put a note here and maybe a note here to fill in that space, right? Again, I'm leaving the gap on the first quarter note. And you can actually move between the 808 and the Reese over on the top, the ruler bar. Notice if you, there's these two purple lines. Maybe if I make this one yellow, I'll make this one orange. And now let's see now there's two different colored lines, right? So this is a bit easier to identify now. So if I click on the yellow line, I'm now playing the Reese. But if I click on this orange line, I'm playing the 808. So this allows you to navigate between the two sounds and write call and response. Really handy. Let's say if you wanted to edit the 808, maybe put another note here, right? Right? It's easy to navigate between these two sounds, but we'll just leave it as is. Let's go back to the Reese pattern. Now the Reese pattern, I actually want to make maybe a change up. Let's duplicate it and make it 8 bars, right? So with the Reese, maybe I want this one to be an octave up like that. So you can have cool change-ups like that. And yeah, really neat way to write call and response using Ableton. All right, next let's add some melodic or harmonic sounds on top of the drums and bass just to give it a little more feels to this track. So I'm using Analog Lab from Arteria. Bunch of cool sounds that you can find with this instrument. I have this little synth sound here. Simply, with these type of things, tracks, I like writing simple kind of like ARP melodies, right? Like just repeat that over and over, right? I'm not even sure if I'm on the right key, but we'll just see if it sounds good. We'll just go with vibe, right? So just like that and have it repeat. Right, you could have it like that, or maybe you want a pattern that's dotted eighth. So instead of having it repeat at the half point, you can repeat like this, right, and fill the last two notes with these two. It's just a different vibe. Let's see what happens if we shorten the notes here. I like that. Shorten it just a little, just to give it space between the notes, right? I'm not sure which one I like more. Let me know down in the comments. I think I'll just go with this one though. Okay, sounding dope. Okay, and finally for some more old school jungle vibes, I'm sampling once again a sound from the Ray Keith Dread Recordings catalog. This is a bleep from the Terrorist track, right? So we can just, let's make this 4 bars again. And let's just feel it out. Yeah, so we can put it here. Let's just bring down those ARP. And the bleep, I just added a bit of echo. It's just a bit more natural when it ends. All right. Actually, with this ARP sound, let's see what happens if we make it faster. So we can use this divide by 2 button, like that. All right, I like that a lot more. Dope. See, you always got to try all options until you find the vibe. All right, so we have something nice and rolling, but if it keeps with that vibe, it gets kind of monotonous. So let's add a change up to the vibe. So I pull in an amen break. I'm using the Terrorist amen break. Here's the original loop. And once again, I chopped it in advance, but this is the original pattern. What we can do is mess with the pattern. So I like this double kick at the end, but let's rearrange it. Put it here. Put this one here. And with these shakers or the shuffle here, I like the shuffle here. As opposed to the shuffle here, I just want to avoid the kick. It's nothing wrong with it, but with this vibe, I just want the without the. It's just a different vibe, right? So if you have it like this, you get that rumble, right? Where you have here. So I just like that vibe. Let's duplicate this. Let's put a double snare here and maybe move this like this. Does this work? That's cool. Let's add a little snare roll at the end here. That's cool. You can add a bit of a volume control, or is it, go in draw mode first. Hold control, click, and drag up. You can then draw that. Oh, I missed this point here. So you can just draw it in. Yeah, that sounds dope. Okay. So we have a nice amen here. Let's add a different bass line during the amen. So I have this Sawtooth Reese bass here. Once again, it is from my Gnarly Serum preset pack. Check the links below if you want to grab Gnarly. But yeah, let's put in a pattern. Okay, of course, I gotta quantize it. Not the best at playing live, but thank goodness we can edit the notes. All right, and again, I've left this opportunity to fill in with another bass here, and we'll add an 808 here. All right, so we'll just fill in this space of the 808 with the same 808 that we were using before from the Gnarly kit. So let's go into the 808 track and double click to create a MIDI. Once again, this Reese is 4 bars, so just make sure this pattern is also 4 bars, and we'll make it a different color this time. Let's we can make it this pink color and then call it 808. And again, click on the Reese clip, hold shift, click on the 808 clip. So now we have both. Now we can figure out what to play here. Okay, so you gotta be careful. So just click this focus button. It won't, then you can just keep it whatever you want it to be, right? If you don't have focus, it just switches because for some reason it tries to figure out which one you want to focus on based on the notes that are already written in the pattern. So just click on this focus button on the top, and we want to focus on the 808, which is the pink color. Okay, and let's put in some notes. Let's put in like this. Again, I'm leaving that space there. So I'll try an octave up. We can fill this. Just let the 808 trail. Okay, I just want to edit the 808 sound here a little, maybe give it more of a fade out, so decrease the decay a little. And I'm finding the attack a bit too booty. I don't know what the right word is. It's just shorten it. That sounds good. What if we bring it back down? that sounded pretty nice. All right, so now we have 2 sections, and now we can create a bit of an arrangement. All right, and now I have 2 different scenes there. I have the roller part and Amen as 2 scenes, and we can launch it in the session view. And this is why I like the session view, because you can like test out and jam before committing to an arrangement, right? Because this allows me to throw in and try different ideas before I commit to an arrangement. And just make sure you just have on the top left the global quantized to 1 bar. Otherwise, if when you launch these, if it was on none, like it just won't be on time when you, right? As opposed to if you put it to 1 bar here, now you can play this. Right, it waits for the next bar to finish before it launches, so everything is on time. Yeah, you can do that and just perform it live, right? But what I like to do is now just click on Roller V2, which is the first scene, and you can Command C or just copy, and then go here, and then at the very top, just click at the very top row and paste it, right? And then we can stretch it out and make a pattern out of this. So we'll have that playing for three sets of 4 bars, and then at the very last set, or the last 4 bars, we can fill in with the Amen. Again, all I did was I went to the Amen, copy, go here, click the very top row, top scene, paste, right? And now we have a bit of an arrangement. So let's check it out in full. Oh yeah, now we have some jungle vibes. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed watching me create a drum and bass roller track from scratch in today's video. I wanted to go a little more in depth, showing you the techniques and processes that I use in constructing a track. So hopefully you picked up some of the little techniques and things I do with Ableton to facilitate and make that creative process easier. Also, make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok, where I have additional exclusive content. Thanks again for liking, subscribing, and commenting in my videos. All that helps my channel grow. Anyways, that's pretty much it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Keep practicing, and I'll see you at the next video. Hey, if you want to support, you can check out my products in the link below. My rollers kit for Ableton is out now, containing 23 modular instruments and over 400 MIDI and audio patterns. Use it to spark creativity for your next track. For the most upfront sounds and bass music, you can grab my gnarly serum pack or wubs and wobbles for Vital. You can also check out my Jungle and Liquid Ableton production kits. Hint, if you don't have Ableton, you can grab the Wave packs. If you're not ready to buy yet, you can always check out my free products also in the link below. Anyways, always appreciate your support. Have fun creating!